No more snacks on Snap. No more snacks on Snap. And I've been watching some of the reaction videos, to people reacting about them not being able to use their Snap benefits to get snacks. And they are upset. Some people purposely going to the grocery store, loading it up with all their junk food that they normally get, trying to go to the cash register, and decline, 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 decline. I'm not going to lie to you, I find it partly hilarious. I do. I find it partly hilarious. I say the only victim in the situation, is probably the kids because, they don't understand what's going on. And we talking about little kids, they don't understand what's going on. But other than that, it even works out in their benefit for their health. And I sit down and I'm watching all these reaction videos and I'm seeing people react to, their SNAP benefits being cut off. And I'm just like, people are really, people are really just at a loss right now. Like how much dependency that they have and how much of a downward spiral that they are in and they can't see it. And I'm not talking about necessarily needing benefits for food. I'm talking about like using your benefits for snacks and you being upset that you can't use your SNAP for snacks anymore. Like something that's a luxury. Like we keeping it real. Snacks are a luxury. Snacks is not pivotal to your survival. It's not a part of the nutritional standard that you need, daily recommended nutritional value that you need in order to survive. It's extra, it's on top. Yet, people are saying, I can't have my little Dr. Pepper with my dinner and, I can't have a little chocolate bar. And I sit back and I'm like, these things are $2. These things are $1, $2. So we are at a point now where your luxuries that the government has cut off because it's cost the government $4 million every day. Every day it costs the government $4 million to fund SNAP. And now you are mad that they are making price cuts, not on the actual food like the bread and the meat and the vegetables and the apples. The sustaining, the stuff that'll fill you up and keep you healthy and whole. They ain't cut that. They ain't cut the milk. They ain't cut the water. But we talking about snacks, muffins, chips, juices, sodas, candy. All the bullshit that rot in your brain and your teeth, and these are the things that we fighting for. It's sad. And this ain't necessarily a black thing that I'm talking about, like a majority of them are black. But no, this ain't just the black thing. This is an entitlement thing. This is the thing about entitlement that we have going on in this country. Entitlement. And it's funny because the people who are reacting to it were saying that, us common folk, us regular folk who's not on SNAP are somewhat glad or somewhat elated. And they say they're calling us entitled. And it's like the world that we are living in right now. This is like the spoiled kid syndrome. That you continuously give a spoiled kid something over and over and over and over and over. And then when you stop and you pull it back, now they get mad. That's the true entitlement. But people can't see it. People can't see it. And it further shows me the scarcity mindset that a lot of these people have. The scarcity mindset is like if you lose your job and you sit there crying, you lost your job. Okay, you lost your job, but your mind is not working to see other avenues and other, angles and ways that you can get you some money. So now, okay, the government cut your SNAP. You can't go find other avenues or other ways to go get your snacks if you feel like snacks are pivotal for your survival. That you gotta have your Dr. Pepper. You gotta have your chocolate bar. You can't go find ways or hustles or avenues if it's that important to you to go get your $1, $2 every day for you to go get your chocolate bar. Because a lot of y'all sound like drug addicts. So maybe some of y'all need to go panhandle on the side of the street and be like, need money for snacks because the government cut off my SNAP. Maybe that's what some of y'all need to do. If snacks is that important to you. I just find it funny. I find it sad and funny. And I'm not saying funny like hysterical, laughing funny. I'm saying it funny like in a sad sense. It's very sad. The scarcity in mind, the scarcity and entitlement that these people are having. The loss, the loss of self-sufficiency. Like no self-sufficiency at all to get up off your ass to go get $3 for your snacks. $5 every day for your snacks. That's $35 a week, $40 a week for your snacks. If you spend $5 a day for your snacks, you gonna get a part-time job and work 2 hours the whole week to get your snacks. Yet you rather sit on your ass and complain that the government cut off your snack fund. Like I said, it's not that they said no more food, no more meat, no more vegetables, no more apples. They cut off the luxuries. Again, they cut off the luxuries, the extra, the sprinkles on top. That's what they cut off. But yet, this is the world that we living in, or the country that we living in. And then they passing the same cycle down over and over and over and over and over. Because now they teaching their kids and the young ones to complain instead of hustle. They're teaching their kids more entitlement instead of saying this is what happens when you are dependent. That when you are dependent on somebody, when you're dependent on the entity and they pull it back, now you are at their mercy. They're not teaching their kids these things for their kids to be independent. That's the scary thing about it, is the behaviors that we're passing down. Let alone the obesity, the chronic illness, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, all these things that's passing down from these bad diets, from all these snacks. Let alone that. We ain't touched on that. What's good? We ain't touched on none of that. That's the real hurt. So the person who's funding it can't have no say. The person who's funding it can't be elated that they gotta stop, that their money is stop being abused. Like I said, it's back to the spoiled kid syndrome. The parent trying to save some money, but the parent is happy that they ain't got to spend money on this kid wilding out on unneeded items, and the parent is happy, yet the kid is upset. But the kid don't see how much it's costing the parent to give this kid this extra, not the necessities, but the extra. Psh, I don't know what we living in right now. I don't know what we living in right now. Anyway, let me know how I feel about this. It's your favorite cousin Rich. No more snacks on Snap. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.